to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this look right here. I've just done a quick chatty sort of get ready with me video all about this bronzy big lashes and nude lip that I've been wearing a lot recently in my latest videos, and I've had a lot of requests from you guys to show you how to do it and all the products that I use. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first thing that I obviously like to do is prime my skin. So today I'm going to be using my Savvy Smooth Finish Primer. This is just a really cheap drugstore primer and it's very, very dewy and sort of moisturizing. Then to add that sort of luminous glow from underneath my foundation, I also mix in my Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops, and this is in the shade Sunlight. So I just mix the two together and apply it to my skin as normal. And I also like to take this down my neck as well. So we do look a little bit like Tin Man, really bright metallic at the moment, but I assure you it's not going to look like this when we add our foundation. It will end up just being a really subtle like glow from within. So now onto foundation, I choose my trusty Born This Way foundation by Too Faced. I just like to spot this all over my face first. And then I'll go ahead with my Morphe M439 Round Top Kabuki to blend this out. This is the perfect shade for when I have a fresh fake tan, and I just think that it makes your skin look flawless. Now onto concealer. I like a really bright under eye, so I like to firstly go in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin. I'm in the shade Light Neutral, and I apply this first in the triangular shape under my eyes. I love the applicator of this. I think it's so easy to use and like maneuver around your eyes. A little bit down my nose as well, because I like tend to lose a lot of foundation on my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. Once I'm done with this concealer, I actually go in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm in the shade NW20, and I just apply like two little tiny pumps under my eyes on top of the Urban Decay. This is a little bit lighter, and I just find that it sort of brightens up the under eye that little bit more. Then I just use my very dirty Real Technique sponge and blend this out. Then to set my under eye area, I'll either swap between my Face of Australia Loose Translucent Powder and just take a little bit of that. But recently I've been using this Bare Minerals concealer, and it's in Well Rested. So I just take a tiny bit of this product and dust it under my eyes first. This just really brightens up the under eye area, but it also sets your concealer in place, and it is a yellow powder, so it's going to keep that area very, very bright. Then I also like to set my eyelids with this shade. I then take my Australis Banana Powder and highlight the rest of my face, again going under the eyes, also on my chin, nose, cupid's bow, and also on my forehead. Then when I'm going for a really like flawless complexion, I will always go back to my MAC Studio Fix, and I'm in the shade NC35. This just gives you that little bit of extra coverage, and your skin looks amazing when you use this. So I'm just setting the rest of my skin down with this. Now onto the rest of my face. For bronzing, I'm going to be using my MAC Gimme Sun, and I'm going to bronze up my cheekbones a lot, and I like to add a lot to the perimeter of my face because I do have a bigger forehead, and also a little bit on my nose. Then when I want a little bit more of like a bronzy glow, I'll go back in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Gold Deposit, and I'll just dust this lightly back over my cheekbones where I put down my bronzer. Now onto contouring. I like to actually use my Benefit Hoola bronzer for this. I don't really like anything that's very, very grey or anything that's really, really warm either. So I like the Hoola because it's a nice like neutral brown shade, and it creates this perfect shadow without looking too harsh. Now onto highlight. I've been going for this so much, and you guys have commented a whole heap on what highlighter I've been wearing lately because it's so intense, and it's that like frosty champagne sort of highlight, and I'm always using Becca Moonstone. This is my go-to highlighter right now. I swap between this, Soft and Gentle by MAC, and Merry Luminizer by The Balm, but lately this is all I've been wearing on my face. So I'm actually taking a little bit of it down onto my sort of apples of my cheeks, and then dusting it up the sides of my face as well, and onto my brow bone. Then I like a really poppin' nose highlight, so just on the very, very tip of my nose. And then I like to take the leftover product and I dust a little bit of this on my forehead just so it sort of balances out the look, and that's also where the sun is going to hit you as well. And then a little bit on my chin and on my cupid's bow. Then I like to add just a tiny little bit of blush just on top of my highlighter so it's not so intense. And I always go for my MAC Peaches blush and I just apply the tiniest little bit. Now that we've finished on the face, it's time to move on to the eyes, and this is honestly so easy. So the first thing that I like to do is just go back in with the bronzer that I used on my face because I want it to match up with my eyes and keep it really consistent. So today obviously I use my Gimme Sun and I'm just going to run this with a big fluffy brush through my crease. So I bring this from the outer corner all the way into the inner corner, but focusing most of the product on the outer V here. Now that I've placed a colour in the crease, I just like to go in with a glowy sort of champagne gold shade, and I go for this one here, which is the Chi Chi Beautiful Day one, and I literally just pick this up on my finger and apply it to my eyelid. Then I just go back in with my fluffy blending brush and I just blend out the two shades, that way there's no harsh lines. Now unfortunately my camera actually died when I was just applying my false lashes. I didn't even notice, but I always go for my Glam by Manicare Sienna lashes. They're so long and so wispy, they basically touch my eyebrows, but I really like these and I love wearing them on their own without like a winged liner or anything like that. So I've just applied these two and now let's move on to mascara. So for mascara I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara and just coating my top and bottom lashes. You really want to get as close to the root of the lash as possible so that your false lashes look as natural as possible with your real lashes. This is also going to help your like false lashes stay up and curled because your real lashes are going to be holding them up. Sorry, before I apply my mascara to my lower lashes, I'm going to go back in with that Gimme Sun bronzer and just brush a little bit of this under my lower lash line. Now back to applying mascara to our lower lashes. Now onto eyebrows, I'm going to be using my Models Prefer Essential Brow Kit in Blonde and also my Australis Tint My Brow, also in Blonde. Now I'm just going back in with my Moonstone highlighter and I'm going to highlight my brow bone and also my inner corner. Now onto lips, I'm starting off with my Soar Lip Liner by MAC and just outlining my lips. Then onto lipstick, I'm taking my Jeffree Star I'm Nude liquid lipstick. That is the end of the video today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed seeing how I do my go-to sort of bronzy, big lashes kind of look. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel or haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe down below. Hope you guys are having an awesome day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!